Have you ever heard the saying, sometimes the best way to maintain control is to step into the fray, even if it means revealing a fraction of your true strength? While violence is never the first answer. There are moments when standing up and confronting someone is necessary to protect yourself and others. Today we'll explore why Kiyotaka Ayanokoji decided to fight Rokusuke Ryuuen in Classroom of the Elite, and what led to this pivotal showdown. In many cultures, the concept of fighting is often viewed negatively, seen as an act of aggression and violence. However, there are situations where fighting becomes necessary to protect oneself and others, to uphold justice, and to dismantle systems of oppression. In literature and media, characters often face scenarios that require them to stand up and confront their adversaries, not out of a desire for violence but out of necessity. One such compelling narrative is found in the anime and light novel series Classroom of the Elite, where the protagonist Kiyotaka Ayanokoji chooses to fight Ryuuen. This essay will explore why it is sometimes okay to fight and delve into the motivations and circumstances that led Ayanokoji to his confrontation with Ryuuen. The morality of fighting. Fighting, in its essence, should never be the first course of action. Diplomacy, dialogue, and peaceful resolution are always preferable. However, there are scenarios where these methods fail, and taking a stand becomes imperative. When facing relentless bullying, oppression, or a direct threat to safety, fighting can become a necessary act of defense. It is in these moments that standing up and confronting the aggressor is not only justified but morally right. The key lies in the intention behind the fight. If the purpose is to protect oneself or others, to stop ongoing harm, and to restore peace, then fighting transcends mere violence and becomes an act of courage and justice. This perspective is vividly illustrated in Classroom of the Elite through Ayanokoji's calculated decision to confront Ryuuen. Ayanokoji's background and motivations. Kiyotaka Ayanokoji is known for his exceptional intelligence, strategic mind, and remarkable combat skills. These traits are not innate but the result of intense and often brutal training in the White Room, a clandestine facility designed to create perfect individuals. This background shapes every aspect of his character and actions throughout the series. The White Room. A foundation of ruthless excellence. The White Room is an enigmatic and rigorous training environment aimed at cultivating extraordinary individuals. Here, children are subjected to relentless physical, mental, and psychological training from a very young age. The goal is to eliminate all weaknesses and produce individuals capable of excelling in any field. For Ayanokoji, the White Room was not just a school but a crucible that forged his abilities and mindset. The training he received included advanced academic instruction, strategic thinking exercises, and combat training, all designed to push him beyond normal human limits. This harsh upbringing instilled in him a highly analytical mind, exceptional problem-solving skills, and unparalleled physical prowess. Strategic mind and tactical prowess. Ayanokoji's time in the White Room honed his strategic mind and tactical prowess to perfection. He learned to assess situations rapidly, identify the strengths and weaknesses of his opponents, and devise effective strategies to achieve his goals. This ability to think several steps ahead allows him to manipulate events and people to his advantage without revealing his true intentions. Ayanokoji applies these skills with precision. He carefully observes his surroundings and classmates, gathering information to inform his actions. Whether it's academic challenges, social dynamics, or physical confrontations, he approaches every situation with a calculated and methodical mindset. His tactical thinking extends beyond immediate outcomes to long-term consequences, ensuring that his actions align with his broader objectives. Preference for anonymity. Despite his extraordinary capabilities, Ayanokoji prefers to stay in the shadows. He understands that overt displays of power and intelligence can draw unwanted attention and potential threats. His primary goal is to blend into the background, influencing events subtly and ensuring that his true strengths remain concealed. This preference for anonymity is both a strategic choice and a personal inclination, reflecting his upbringing where standing out could invite scrutiny and danger. By maintaining a low profile, Ayanokoji can operate without attracting the notice of school authorities or rival students. This allows him to gather information and manipulate situations without arousing suspicion. His anonymity also provides a tactical advantage, as his opponents consistently underestimate him, giving him the element of surprise when he chooses to act. Complex relationship with authority and control. Ayanokoji's experiences in the White Room have also shaped his relationship with authority and control. He is acutely aware of power dynamics and how to navigate them. At school, he interacts with teachers, administrators, and fellow students in a way that maintains his cover while subtly exerting influence. He uses his understanding of authority to manipulate outcomes in his favor without directly challenging the system. His approach to control is nuanced. He influences events and people from behind the scenes, ensuring that outcomes align with his goals. This indirect method of control allows him to maintain a facade of normalcy while orchestrating complex plans that advance his objectives. Protecting the vulnerable. Despite his often cold and detached demeanor, Ayanokoji harbors a sense of responsibility towards those who are vulnerable. This is exemplified in his interactions with classmates who suffer under bullying and manipulation, such as Kei Karuizawa. His decision to intervene in their life is driven by a calculated sense of justice and a desire to maintain stability within his class. Ayanokoji's protective instincts are not born out of overt emotion but from a strategic understanding of the importance of unity and morale. By protecting the vulnerable, he ensures the cohesion and strength of his class, which ultimately serves his broader strategic goals. His interventions are precise and effective, demonstrating his ability to balance empathy with tactical thinking. Long-term goals. While Ayanokoji's immediate goal is to advance Class 1D's standing within the school, his long-term ambitions remain enigmatic. His actions suggest a broader strategy aimed at achieving a position of unassailable strength and influence, possibly extending beyond the confines of the school. This overarching goal drives his decisions and shapes his interactions with others. Ayanokoji's long-term goals are likely influenced by his desire to escape the control of the White Room and its architects. By achieving significant success and influence on his own terms, he seeks to assert his independence and redefine his identity outside the constraints imposed on him since childhood. Ryuuen's reign of terror. The tyrant of Class 1C. Ryuuen, a dominant and fearsome figure in Class 1C, he rules his class through a regime of fear and intimidation. Unlike the conventional leaders who might rely on charisma or mutual respect, Ryuuen employs aggressive tactics and outright bullying to assert his dominance. His leadership style is authoritarian, leaving no room for dissent or opposition. His reign of terror is characterized by a ruthless enforcement of his will, making him a significant antagonist within the series. Fear and intimidation as tools of control. Ryuuen's primary tools for maintaining control are fear and intimidation. He understands that by instilling fear, he can manipulate and control his classmates effectively. This atmosphere of fear is carefully cultivated through a combination of physical threats, psychological manipulation, and public humiliation. By creating an environment where students are too scared to oppose him, Ryuuen ensures that his authority remains unchallenged. His methods are brutal and direct. He uses violence to enforce his rules and punish those who defy him. Public displays of aggression serve as warnings to others, reinforcing his position as the unchallenged leader of Class 1C. Ryuuen's willingness to use force and his strategic use of fear make him a formidable opponent, not just within his class but across the entire school. Targeting Class 1D and Kei Karuizawa. Ryuuen's aggressive tactics are not limited to his own class. He extends his reign of terror to other classes, particularly targeting Class 1D and its members. One of his main targets is Kei Karuizawa, a vulnerable student who suffers greatly under his bullying. Ryuuen's harassment of Karuizawa is not merely an act of personal vendetta, it is a calculated move to destabilize Class 1D and identify the mastermind behind their recent successes. By targeting Karuizawa and other vulnerable students, Ryuuen seeks to sow discord and weaken the cohesion of Class 1D. His strategy involves applying pressure on these students to extract information and create a sense of hopelessness. This approach not only affects the immediate victims but also serves as a psychological attack on the entire class, undermining their morale and unity. The pursuit of the mastermind. Ryuuen's obsession with uncovering the mastermind behind Class 1D's strategic maneuvers drives much of his aggressive behavior. He perceives this hidden strategist as a direct threat to his power and influence. His relentless pursuit involves meticulous planning, surveillance, and coercion as he seeks to unmask and neutralize this rival. Ryuuen's determination to expose the mastermind is fueled by his need to maintain his image of invincibility. By identifying and defeating this unseen opponent, he aims to reinforce his dominance and eliminate any challenges to his authority. This pursuit places Ayanokoji, the true mastermind, in a precarious position as he must navigate Ryuen's traps and strategies without revealing his identity. Ayanokoji's strategic response. Ayanokoji understands that Ryuen's relentless pursuit and oppressive tactics cannot be ignored. To protect his classmates and his carefully laid plans, he realizes that a direct confrontation is inevitable. This decision is not taken lightly. It is a calculated move to end Ryuen's reign of terror and restore balance. Ayanokoji's approach to confronting Ryuen is strategic and multifaceted. He recognizes that defeating Ryuen requires more than just physical prowess. It involves dismantling his psychological hold over his classmates. By standing up to Ryuen, Ayanokoji aims to break the cycle of fear and intimidation that Ryuen has perpetuated. The Climactic Showdown. The confrontation between Ayanokoji and Ryuen is the culmination of a complex interplay of strategies, mind games, and psychological warfare. Ayanokoji's decision to engage Ryuen directly is driven by the need to protect his classmates and maintain the stability of Class 1D. This showdown is not merely a physical battle but a clash of ideologies and leadership styles. Ayanokoji's victory over Ryuen is symbolic. It represents the triumph of strategic intelligence and moral fortitude over brute force and intimidation. By defeating Ryuen, Ayanokoji not only secures the safety of his classmates but also sends a clear message that tyranny and bullying will not be tolerated. Protecting Kei Karuizawa. The importance of protecting the vulnerable. One of the most compelling motivations for Kiyotaka Ayanokoji's decision to fight Ryuen is his growing sense of responsibility towards his classmates, particularly the vulnerable ones like Kei Karuizawa. Despite his often cold and detached demeanor, Ayanokoji begins to develop a deeper understanding of the importance of protecting those who cannot defend themselves. Karuizawa's life under Ryuen's relentless bullying becomes a catalyst for Ayanokoji's decisive action. Kei Karuizawa's vulnerability. Kei Karuizawa, a prominent member of Class 1D, presents a complex character who initially appears confident and assertive. However, beneath this facade lies a history of trauma and vulnerability, making her a prime target for Ryuen's bullying. Her traumatic past, marked by severe bullying experiences, has left her emotionally scarred and desperate to avoid further victimization. This background makes her especially susceptible to Ryuen's psychological and physical intimidation tactics. Ryuen exploits Karuizawa's vulnerabilities to exert control over her, using fear and coercion to manipulate her actions and extract information about Class 1D. His relentless harassment not only undermines Karuizawa's confidence, but also destabilizes the unity and morale of her classmates, creating an atmosphere of fear and insecurity. Ayanokoji's growing sense of duty. Ayanokoji's intervention in Karuizawa's situation signifies a notable shift in his character. Initially, Ayanokoji operates with a detached, strategic mindset, focusing solely on achieving his objectives with minimal emotional involvement. However, his interactions with Karuizawa's and other classmates reveal a more complex side to his personality. He starts to recognize the importance of empathy and protection in maintaining class cohesion and stability. Kei's suffering resonates with Ayanokoji on a deeper level, perhaps reminding him of his own isolated and controlled upbringing in the White Room. This connection compels him to act not just out of strategic necessity, but also out of a burgeoning sense of moral responsibility. By standing up for Kei, Ayanokoji begins to demonstrate that his actions are not solely driven by cold logic, but also by a genuine concern for the well-being of his peers. The strategic significance of protecting Kei. Ayanokoji's decision to protect Kei is not merely an emotional response, it is also a strategic maneuver. By intervening in Kei's life, Ayanokoji aims to disrupt Ryuen's power dynamics and send a clear message that bullying and intimidation will not be tolerated. This action serves to undermine Ryuen's authority and embolden other students who may feel oppressed or powerless. Protecting Kei also strengthens the unity and morale of Class 1D. Ayanokoji understands that a class divided by fear and mistrust is vulnerable to external threats. By ensuring Kei's safety and addressing the bullying issue head-on, he fosters a sense of solidarity and mutual support among his classmates. This collective resilience is crucial for Class 1D's ongoing struggle to improve their standing within the highly competitive environment of Tokyo Metropolitan Advanced Nurturing High School. Ayanokoji's decisive action. Ayanokoji's decision to confront Ryuen directly is a significant turning point. He understands that to protect Kei and maintain the integrity of his class, he must take bold and unequivocal action. This confrontation is not just about stopping Ryuen's immediate threats, but also about dismantling the system of fear and control that he has established. Ayanokoji's approach to the confrontation is meticulously planned. He leverages his strategic acumen and combat skills to ensure a decisive victory. By defeating Ryuuen, Ayanokoji not only liberates Kei from her tormentor, but also sets a powerful precedent that challenges and eradicates bullying will be met with resolute opposition, sending a message. Through his actions, Ayanokoji sends a broader message to the entire school. By standing up to Ryuuen and protecting Kei, he demonstrates that protecting the well-being of classmates is paramount, and that he is willing to go to great lengths to ensure their safety. This act of defiance against a powerful bully serves as an inspiration to others who may feel helpless or intimidated, encouraging them to stand up for themselves and each other. Ayanokoji's intervention also signals a shift in the power dynamics within the school. It shows that strategic intelligence and moral courage can overcome brute force and intimidation. This message resonates not only within Class 1D, but also across the other classes, altering the landscape of interclass relations and establishing a new standard for how conflicts are resolved. Strategic and psychological considerations. Dismantling Class 1C's power structure. Ayanokoji's decision to fight Ryuuen is not merely an act of physical confrontation, it is a carefully calculated strategic move designed to dismantle the power structure within Class 1C. Ryuen's authoritarian rule is a significant threat to Class 1D, as his aggressive tactics and bullying extend beyond his class, undermining the stability and cohesion of others. By defeating Ryuuen, Ayanokoji aims to destabilize Class 1C, weakening their ability to pose a serious threat to Class 1D's progress. Class 1C, under Ryuen's leadership, operates through fear and intimidation, creating a unified front against their competitors. Ayanokoji recognizes that by removing Ryuuen, he can create a power vacuum within Class 1C, leading to internal discord and weakening their collective strength. This strategic victory is not just about defeating a single opponent, but about disrupting the organizational structure that allows Class 1C to compete effectively. Elevating Class 1D's standing. Ayanokoji's broader objective is to elevate Class 1D's standing within the high school. By decisively defeating Ryuuen, Ayanokoji sends a clear message to the entire student body about the strength and resilience of Class 1D. This victory serves as a turning point, shifting the perception of Class 1D from underdogs to formidable contenders. The defeat of Ryuuen also serves as a morale booster for Class 1D. It demonstrates that they are capable of overcoming significant threats and can stand up to bullying and intimidation. This newfound confidence is crucial for their continued progress and success within the competitive environment of the school. Ayanokoji's strategic actions not only protect his class in the immediate term, but also lay the groundwork for their future achievements and recognition. Psychological warfare breaking Ryuuen's spirit. Ayanokoji's decision to confront Ryuuen is also a masterstroke of psychological warfare. Ryuuen thrives on the perception of his invincibility, using fear to maintain control over his classmates and intimidate his rivals. By challenging and defeating Ryuuen, Ayanokoji shatters this illusion of invincibility, breaking Ryuuen's spirit and undermining his authority. The psychological impact of this defeat is profound. For Ryuuen, losing a fight is not just a physical setback but a significant blow to his reputation and psychological hold over others. This loss diminishes his ability to command respect and instill fear, eroding the foundation of his power. Don't forget to like, comment, and subscribe for more deep dives into your favorite characters.